We're just going to talk a little bit about the coalition and what we're united about, which is a platform, a 10-point platform campaign called Can We Live?
We call for, number 1, stop racist police terror. Community self-defense is a right. End state violence against women, sexual abuse, exploitation, and sex trafficking. No domestic and sexual violence. Restore safe homes.
Yeah, right. 2, no immigrant ban, no border wall and ICE raids, detentions, deportation, family separations, legalization now.
Yeah.
3, jobs for all, not jails. Promote union rights. Defend public workers and Social Security. Fight for $15 an hour minimum wage, full-time work, and/or guaranteed income pay equality, especially for women of color, paid family leave, extended unemployment benefits, and discrimination based on age, nationality, country of origin, gender, sexuality, pregnancy, disability, cancel credit card and student debt.
Yes. 4, healthcare for all. Preserve, expand Medicaid, Medicare, and Affordable Care Act. Fund Planned Parenthood, reproductive justice now.
All right.
5, free quality education from cradle to grave.
Yeah.
6, housing is a human right. Affordable housing for all and homelessness. No foreclosures, evictions, utility shutoffs.
7, a healthy planet and clean environment. Environmental justice now.
Yes. 8, healthy, toxic-free food. Restore, expand food stamps, WIC, and all nutrition programs.
Yeah.
9, no imperialist war. Stop violence against women in the military and unoccupied lands. Close all U.S. bases abroad. Bring all troops home.
10, stop attacks on lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, gender nonconforming, and queer people. Full rights for all.
Yeah.
We say that every issue is a woman's issue. Every year we try to highlight at least one important issue to generalize. We point out some specific, struggles and even individuals, to help educate and to raise consciousness about all of these issues. And this year, we decided to, as you can see here, we call for the joining of the worldwide fight for freedom from patriarchy and imperialism, and stressing the issue of trafficking and sexual violence of women, which we know, at least over the past year, has been really highlighted in so many ways, on so many fronts, because of who's in the White House. It's not to say misogyny and patriarchy has not ever been in the White House, but because of who's in the White House right now, it has really reached a whole global, crisis. And so we wanted to highlight this young woman, Satoya Brown. You probably have heard of her. She's a young woman who was arrested at the age of 15 for the right to defend herself from a 40-plus white man who was trying to rape her. And she killed him. And she admitted that. And she had the right to do it. We feel self-defense is not a crime. Because of the struggle, the worldwide struggle to free her, because she was sentenced to 55 years in prison at the age of 15 or 16. She's been in prison for the last 15 years. And because of the notoriety and the struggle to free her, there was a campaign to grant her clemency from the governor of Tennessee, and that clemency was granted a few months ago. But she's not going to get out to August, which we think is an outrage. I mean, she should have not ever been in prison, and she certainly should not be in prison now. She's 31 years old now. 31 years old. She's going to be on parole for the next 10 to 15 years. Yes, at least 10 years. Which means if, she sneezes wrong.
That's right, she crosses the red light.
She could go right back to prison. So it's almost like she's going to have 1 foot in prison and 1 foot out of prison. So anyway, it really goes to the heart of the role of the state, the repressive state, and how they treat young women and girls, especially if they defend themselves or they speak out. Look at Anna Chambers. Anna Chambers, an 18-year-old who was gang raped by police.
Oh my God.
Like 4 years, was it 4 years ago? 4 years ago. Or 2 years ago. And the cops were just let off. No indictment, because they said it was so-called consensual sex in the back of a van. In the back of a van. So this is how society treats, women and gender-oppressed people in this society because of deep-seated misogyny and patriarchy. And of course, added on to that was, racism in terms of Centoria Brown. So that's an added, oppression that comes from the system.
March is a really important month for us, not only because it's International Working Women's Month, but it also marks March 1st, 1954, was the year that Lolita Lebron led 3 other men into Congress, into the House of Representatives, and shot up Congress to bring awareness to the fact that Puerto Rico is still not free. And the story goes that Rafael Cancel Miranda, one of the men, was like, we should postpone, it's rainy, we shouldn't go in. And she said, well then I guess I'm going by myself. And all the men followed her, right? And so we see that women have always led the charge for Puerto Rico and around the world.
We need to learn the difference between mounting resistance and the key kinds of resistance that brings this mother down. So workers who stop working, that is what we want to see more of, right? Sisters who defend themselves, that's what we want to see more of. People who want housing need to go and take some of these buildings over here and put themselves in that housing. They're building housing. Sisters who are helping families and everything need not to be mistreated, not to be underpaid.
When Duterte said that being raped is just a part of our job, oh my God, that's really ridiculous. He simply means that he's encouraging all our employers to rape all women, all migrant workers, right? And then, what are we gonna do? We just be left helpless, just simply because we are women. And when he made a promise, that no more Filipino were gonna get out of the country when he became a president, it's a big lie. Why is it that more and more Filipinos getting out of the country every single day, right? So, I'm a migrant mother. I'm a migrant worker. I'm a mother of 2. I just got widowed last February 11, living alone by myself in here. But I have this organization with me who gave me so much support and who gave me so much strength. And it's important for me to be part of an organization to collectively fight for our rights, for our people, as women migrant workers. As Karl Marx says, workers of the world, unite. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
All right.
In the interim, a woman named Malaysia Goodson fell to her death on the subway stairs at 53rd and 7th Avenue. And so we were protesting the fact that the subways are just not safe, especially for parents pushing toddlers in strollers. And I interviewed several groups of parents about their experiences with strollers in the subway, to find this look of absolute horror just came over their face. Everyone, to a person, came over their faces with how difficult it is. You know, in Malaysia's case, she was walking with a child in one arm and the folded up stroller in the other. So how is she going to hang on to a banister? You know, and I haven't seen it because I haven't been down those stairs, but there were at least 70 stairs and she fell to her death. So what we are saying, and have been saying all along, is elevators for all. Initially, it was the elevators for the disabled. Then with Malaysia's death, we realized that even a larger proportion of the riders are parents with strollers. So then the community grew, you know, that we should support them as well. And then it grew to the people, seniors. AARP had a demonstration in favor of elevators. So elevators absolutely for all.
We're here because of neoliberal policies. You asked that question, why we're here. We who come from different places, different countries, we are here because we're not planting tomatoes. We're not planting corn and peas and cassava. We're here because of the International Monetary Fund, the banks, and the payback. But while we're here, we're privy to lifestyle too. And let me just say this. We're not immigrants. We're immigrants in this life. We're not immigrants. We came here, and we came here to work as everybody. Honest, fair, with integrity. Integrity is who you are when nobody's looking also. But we're here to work, and work for honest, decent pay. What we've discovered, however, we've discovered that as women who are working in the homes, as immigrant women of color, we understand the New Deal, right? We understand who gets to do the work that nobody wants to do. It's always the woman of color, the people of color, who are entrusted in these positions. We are the breadbasket. We are the ones who carry the babies on our hips. We are the one who's driving Miss Daisy, and Miss Daisy's kicking us. Yeah, she's kicking us today too, but she is. But the idea is that we organize, we're organizing as immigrant women, as domestic workers, nannies, caregivers, elder caregivers, for power, respect, fair labor standard, and a movement to end repression and oppression for all who works in the home. And so when I say freedom is constant struggle, it's ongoing. We still have those stories where women's wages have been stolen, right? How do we do that? We've got free legal representation. That if some woman should call our office space and say, well, you know, Mr. So-and-so took my money or he didn't pay me. I mean, we're talking about elder care. We're talking women who are giving their lives, not taking care of themselves, to take care of kit and plantation of affluence, and not being paid. Hello. Who's not privy to a certain privy of lifestyle, because we work so our employers could leisure, play, and work. Right? Now somebody's abroad, we talk about immigration. We don't talk about the folks who live here and could go and lull under a coconut tree in Trinidad. We don't talk about that reverse migration, right? And they're in the Caribbean, wherever, enjoying a certain lifestyle, and somebody's in their home, babysitting their dog, walking their dog while they are luxuriating somewhere far. But we understand the color of money, the color of privilege, the color of affluence. But however, we do what we're called to do with dignity and pride, because you work in the home, you give care to this child, you love the child like the child is your own. Then we tie that into the Me Too story. We tie that into what you just talked about, sis, about on the subway, MTA with the children, carrying the children down the stairs. We never included nannies and caregivers in that conversation. That's right. The parents ain't carrying them down those stairs. The parents ain't carrying those children down those stairs. But the nannies who carry those children down those stairs and are hurting, their backs are hurting, their hands are falling apart, the elder caregivers who are pushing these patients along the avenues, whose backs are giving out, who are dying before their patients. So there's many segments of this conversation that we're having. But as long as we don't rally together, let me just say this too, we must learn to come over each other's fences, because we have nothing to lose but our chains. Hello. Hello. We must learn to come over each other's fences. It's not me, myself, and I. It's all of us in this together.
Working very hard to have access to bathrooms. We have a campaign called Free to Pee. Yeah, I know. Basically what it is have access to bathrooms, because you know it's hard to get a bathroom at the train station. It's hard when you go to McDonald's, you need that, of course, that receipt. Or if you go to Starbucks, there's no bathroom, so where you gotta go. And then if your children, yes, I said children, oh, my baby has to use the bathroom. Oh, sorry, we can't let you in.
The homeless, the only solution in my head is that you get a home. All this transitional housing and all this other stuff and how you don't have to pee in the street, you would have to do that if you had a home. Every time you look around, there's all this housing being thrown up in a matter of minutes, and none of us sitting in this room and none of us out there could afford to even sleep in the lobby. Get to the hilt. What do you need when you're homeless? You need a home. Yeah. What do you need when you don't have a job? You need a job. What do you mean when you have a job and it doesn't pay well? You need livable wages. Yes. So take it to the max. Don't ever stop down here when you know you need something.
Going back to the youth, the youth are really getting agitated in ways that we're now seeing. Like there was just that high school in the Bronx. Yes. Those students won a huge victory because they locked themselves in. And it was really beautiful to see, and they're very agitated. We need to be where they're at. We need to be connecting with them. New organizations are springing up all the time, every day. I personally look to a lot of organizers in the city. I look to you all, and I know that you all have the guidance that these kids need, because there's a lot of guidance that is very neoliberal, that are definitely willing to pounce on these people and co-opt their young movements. So we know that in this room we have the anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist framework that they need, and that they would eat up. And so really looking to where they're at and joining in their movements and listening to them also, because they have a lot to contribute to what we're trying to do.
Is that you have to call for people. You have to say, Susie, I need you. And Susie said to me, yes, I'll drop everything because there's a dire need. So, in as much as we don't want to take people out of their comfort zone, we have to call for people. We really have to call people out of their comfort zone. We have to communicate when we don't want to.
Hey, that's not inclusive. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe because you're not, having a sign language person like at your venue, or maybe during actions we should let people in wheelchairs take the front, let them lead the march. That way we're all together. Inclusivity is constantly evolving, constantly changing, and I love that I am part of that evolution.